One of the biggest issues I have with the original English release of Dragon Ball Z is the score. Bruce Faulconer's compositions aren't necessarily bad. In fact, there are quite a few that I don't mind listening to as standalone songs. However, his music rarely seemed to fit the series. Faulconer relies heavily on a techno-rock style, which you'd think would be perfect for an over-the-top battle shonen like DBZ. Unfortunately, his music occasionally overwhelms what should otherwise be a quiet moment, while other times his work fades into the background when it should be bursting with action and suspense. To break this down in a nutshell, let's take a look at the beginning of Gohan's fight against second form Frieza.
You animal!
In this example, the track doesn't feel bombastic enough. The guitar just kind of drones on with little variation, and it doesn't really sell the explosiveness of this attack. To make matters worse, the scene actively avoids silence and instead transitions from track to track to track. Because of this, nothing really sinks in. I'm not given a moment to wonder whether or not Gohan just killed Frieza, so when the Tyrant gets back up, the music can't punctuate that. It just carries over from one sequence to the next, and that creates a disconnect between me and what's actually happening. Ignoring the obvious pacing and acting changes, the same scene in Kai feels completely different due to the musical score.
I said move!
Not only do we get the intense guitar riffs here, but the addition of violins and trumpets gives the track more impact. It alters the tone of the scene from one of generic badassery to one of dangerous intensity, with the sudden bursts of energy in the music connecting with the nature of Gohan's attack. On top of that, the music doesn't begin until after Gohan kicks Frieza, and it's that brief pause after the fact that highlights the moment's shock value. When Gohan stops attacking, the music concludes. This silence gives the scene time to breathe, but it also stresses the fleeting nature of Gohan's power-up. His strength is dictated by his emotional state, so when he calms down, that power disappears. The music parallels this, reaching a thunderous climax in tandem with Gohan's fever pitch before dying out as quickly as it entered. After 30 seconds without it, the music comes back in, this time with a more ominous piece that builds to Frieza's recovery. Those 30 seconds accentuate how unsettling this track should be, an effect that the DBZ dub's constant use of music simply can't replicate. Most of Faulconer's Dragon Ball Z is like this, and it serves as one of the many reasons why I prefer Kai to the original series. It's a shame that Kenji Yamamoto resorted to plagiarism when arranging his soundtrack, but I can at least say that he understood what worked for Dragon Ball. He struck a good balance between the orchestral compositions of the original Kikuchi score and Faulconer's more modern rock. And when his work was replaced with that of the 90s anime late into its American TV run, I didn't even notice. Though that could be because I'm just dumb. Either way, thanks for watching this short video. This was originally going to be a comparative example in a bigger soundtrack-related video I'm currently working on, but then it grew beyond what I was expecting. That video isn't even about DBZ, so I figured dedicating a full page to a throwaway example might be a bit much. It's also a bit of a test for that style of audio analysis, so if you have any suggestions for how I could improve in that field, please let me know. I'd also like to remind everyone that the Nen Show podcast has moved to my side channel. Part 3 just went up, so if you have a few hours to spare and you're interested in some long-form shonen analysis, you can check that out. In other news, I also started a weekly podcast with fellow YouTubers Explanation Point and Manime Matt. So if you want to check that out, there should be a link on screen or in the description. Until next time, keep on YouTubing.